The Battle of Endor from the Star Wars Return of the Jedi movie is the most decisive moment in all of Star Wars galactic history. But how did the battle play out during the final moments of Palpatine's rule over the galaxy and the Empire? Welcome to another Imperial Explained video, and in this video we'll break down both the Rebellion and the Empire strategy during the Battle of Endor. As the second Death Star orbited the forest moon of Endor, the Rebel Alliance arrived out of hyperspace believing they had caught the Empire by surprise, with the unfinished second Death Star relatively unprotected. In Legends and canon, the exact number of the Rebels' fleet is not clear. However, the fleet did consist of well over a dozen Mon Calamari MC-80 cruisers, many types of frigates such as the Nebulon B, the CR-90 Corvette, assault frigates, and the DP-20. There were also several other vessels such as the Quasar Fire class, the Dreadnought Heavy class cruiser, the GR-75 medium cruiser, and of course the Millennium Falcon. Alongside the capital ships were hundreds of starfighters such as the X-Wing, the Y-Wing, the A-Wing, the B-Wing and the Z-95 Headhunter. Although the rebels had gained intelligence on the Death Star's shield generator from Endor's surface, the fleet led by Admiral Ackbar realised the Empire had already anticipated their attack and the shield was protecting the station. Realising their ship's sensors were being jammed from gaining a reading on the Death Star's shield, Ackbar attempted to call off the attack and exit into hyperspace. Of course it was a trap, and a huge Imperial fleet blocked their escape. The Empire's fleet numbers, particularly in Legends, are much clearer, however still not completely clear as to how many made up the largest Imperial Navy force ever assembled. However, it appears there was one Executive-class dreadnought, the largest vessel by some margin and the fleet's capital ship, two battle cruisers, the Pride of Talandir acting as the fleet communications vessel and the second most important ship, and the Ithmar's Fist, which belonged to Admiral Blitzer Harsk. The other main capital ships were made up of 33 Imperial-class Star Destroyers, which roughly consisted of 10 Imperial 1 class, 17 Imperial 2 class, 3 Tector class, 1 Victory 1 class, and 1 Victory 2 class. And supporting the Star Destroyers were several Carrack-class cruisers, Vindicator-class heavy cruisers, and a few Interdictor cruisers, plus 2 Nebulon Bs and 3 Tartan-class patrol cruisers. However, the exact numbers were not entirely known and the numbers are not represented here. The important factor to remember here is the Imperial Interdictor cruisers were projecting their gravity wells, which prevented the Rebel fleet from escaping into hyperspace. Before the Rebel fleet had had a chance to react, the Imperial fleet had already launched hundreds of TIE fighters of various types to attack and overwhelm the Alliance, and it caused havoc within the initial stages of the battle. Meanwhile, the Imperial fleet held their distance away from the battle, while its TIE fighters attacked the Rebels. When Fleet Admiral Firmus Biet was asked by his first officer, Captain Garant, why they were not attacking, this was due to the Emperor's express order to hold while the second Death Star would deliver his special plan. At this stage of the battle, the Imperial fleet, although had the element of surprise, were giving away much of their advantage to the Alliance by holding back its capital ships to press the attack, while the fighters attacked in huge numbers. Although it was a deliberate part of Palpatine's overconfident strategy, this allowed the Alliance to pick off a large portion of the Empire's TIE fighters and severely weaken the Imperial starfighter complement with their superior starfighter squadrons. With the second Death Star ready to fire, Palpatine ordered the station to fire upon the Alliance's fleet, destroying the Mon Calamari cruiser Liberty. The Empire had the Rebels cornered and unable to escape. Admiral Ackbar ordered a retreat, which prompted Calrissian to suggest to Ackbar that this was their only chance of destroying the Death Star, and the Alliance fleet would last longer against the Star Destroyers point blank than attacking the Death Star. Although the Death Star continued to destroy further capital ships, this was the point in the battle where Palpatine's strategy began to unravel. The unexpected point-blank attack by the Alliance capital ships against the Imperial fleet caused confusion amongst the fleet commanders, and a lack of TIE fighter cover made it difficult to coordinate their counter-attack strategy. Fleet Admiral Piet and many of the senior commanders of the Imperial fleet never expected the Alliance to attack the fleet head-on, as it was never a scenario within the Imperial doctrine. However, still Piet and his fleet possessed a greater firepower and attempted to retaliate. General Calrissian realised the jamming of their sensors on the Death Star's shield was being generated from the Imperial fleet's primary communications vessel, the battlecruiser the Pride of Talandir, which was also transceiving the facilitation of communications between various fleet elements. The Alliance Starfighter Blue and Green squadrons, comprised of B-Wings and Y-Wings, were ordered to attack the Imperial battlecruiser. Despite the defence of the 181st Imperial Fighter Wing, led by Baron Sutal Fel, to defend the Pride of Talandir, the battlecruiser was overwhelmed and ultimately destroyed, causing the jamming to disappear and disrupt the Empire's fleet communications. This left the Star Destroyer Chimera as the next ship in line to the Executor Dreadnought to begin facilitating communications to the Imperial fleet. Although the Alliance held starfighter superiority at this point, the Empire's fleet firepower still heavily overpowered the Alliance fleet, and the battle had begun to stagnate for a while. Notably, the Empire could have possibly won the battle at this point. However, the surface battle on Endor, the Alliance successfully destroyed the shield generator bunker, causing the second Death Star's shield to lower. Admiral Ackbar ordered General Calrissian to lead the remaining fighters of Red and Gold squadrons into the Death Star superstructure, followed in pursuit by several TIE fighters and TIE interceptors belonging to the Scythe Squadron and the 181st Fighter Wing. To prevent further pursuit by TIE fighters into the Death Star superstructure, Ackbar ordered his Alliance fleet to concentrate all firepower on the Imperial fleet's flagship, the Executor, in order to distract Imperial forces away from the Rebel attack on the Death Star. A group of Alliance vessels combined to temporarily bring down the Executor's bridge shields, leaving it vulnerable to starfight attack, which led to one of the Dreadnought's sensor globes to be destroyed by Green Squadron. Fleet Admiral Piet was immediately notified of this, and ordered to intensify the turbo laser's forward firepower to compensate for the new vulnerability, to prevent them from coming through. However, a dorsal trench attack from Green Squadron steered a cripple A-wing into the Executor's command bridge, killing its command staff. The Executor was quickly caught by the second Death Star's gravity well and subsequently crashed into the surface of the Death Star before the secondary command bridge could regain control. Meanwhile, Moff Gigerard ordered the rotation of the second Death Star, as ordered by the Emperor, to destroy the moon if the shield was brought down. However, the Alliance attack led by Calrissian had reached the Death Star's main reactor chamber. Wedge Antilles targeted the reactor's core power regulator with proton torpedoes, while Calrissian targeted the core itself. Moving their vessels away from the battle station, the Alliance anticipated that it would soon be destroyed. Shortly afterwards, the second Death Star exploded, leaving only half of what remained of the Imperial fleet, commanded by Pellaeon, to jump into hyperspace. So in summary, Palpatine's overconfidence to hold back the Imperial fleet, when the Empire clearly held the advantage, was their single biggest mistake. Had the Star Destroyers charged in with the TIE fighters, it would have been much more difficult for the Alliance to survive the significantly increased firepower. The Empire's fleet also lacked the diversity of capital ships, with the capability to more successfully handle and repel starfighter attacks. Star Destroyers were best suited for ship-to-ship combat, and the lack of any Lancer-class frigates would have severely hindered their defences. But given this, the Alliance took the initiative to attack the Imperial fleet point blank with a superior starfighter capability, knowing their Mon Calamari cruiser shielding was strong enough to withstand a heavy attack from the Imperials. The Alliance, including Admiral Ackbar and General Calrissian, were also quick to react to dangers and make the right calls at the right time, while Palpatine's overconfidence restricted his officers with express orders which severely disadvantaged the Imperials at key points of the battle. So that was my opinion, but what do you think? Leave a comment as to the other things you think made the difference to the battle on both sides. Thanks for watching, and long live the Empire.